Good morning, everyone. This is the Futures in 5. Today is Wednesday, September the 12th, and we are in the middle of higher support holds, but our charts really have no trend. All right, so let's take a look at our formations. All right, the first thing that we're going to see here is the E-mini S&Ps, and that's the ES, and we've got support action. We are testing that support action, but we are slipping down through the spaces. So what is this? This is primary support. We are going to hold this region around 2885. That's going to be that baseline. We're caught between 2885, 2900 on the upside. We're caught between 2884 and 2869 on the downside. And so we can see this line right here that says, hey, if I start losing this edge, I'm not going to have too many pretty bounces that are going to take me back up into the space because I am essentially range bound, and I still have this area of low volume sitting in the space. That means if I lose this area and I am looking for pressure to the upside, I'm going to need to watch it come into that 2878. That's the region that I've liked the entire time for good solidifying bounce action, and it did hold that yesterday and then begin to move straight up to the upside. And so here we are at the volume point of control right here, and we are struggling around that region. We've got Fed hike likely coming, I think, at the end of this week or somewhere around this week. And so we could have a lot of quiet traders today. So that's really what we are watching. Quiet trading in general. Let's take a look at the NQ. Man, take a look at this thing. What is this? Pocket, pocket, pocket. And this sharp move upward really did not help us fill in this pocket at all. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about when we get to the YM, see what a clean form looks like from a volume profile. Again, price acceptance. If you get up into price acceptance on these edges and you don't see it moving forward, you know that's a place for price to reject. And so these edges that we're caught in here, 75.07 to 75.37, that's got upside pressure. We are trying to bounce. Here's the thing. We don't have trend. We just move from price acceptance. What we should move back into is price rejection. And that low area is right around the 74.97-ish region or so. You could say, hey, I want to take it right here at 75.02 where it's printing right now. Somewhere around there, essentially. Or you could say, you know, if I'm looking at price rejection, it runs all the way into where these wicks are. And that's really around that 74.89 to 74.93 region, right? It could just as easily bounce here, though, folks, because it's the edge of this profile. What do we have? We have a little bit of upside trend on the tight action, but the big picture is very congested. So you make an estimate, you take the trade, you watch your risk, and if it works, it does. If it doesn't work, it doesn't. And there's nothing more than that. No holy grail action sitting here in the space whatsoever, because price action does not have momentum and big volatility attached to it, particularly today. All right. This is the formation I'm talking about. Take a look at this. This is a very compact profile. And when a profile is this compact, it really gives us very clear signals about where my support is and where my resistance is. And my buy zones have been down here. Have they faded quite a bit? Yes. So don't go buying just because you know support is there. Watch it recapture support and hold it. It'll take you to the edge of price acceptance, which is going to be right here where this profile turns a little bit blue, up on those edges. Right here, we're caught between the volume point of control. Here today is about 25,980, something like that, 25,978. This region has been providing support. Price acceptance is continuing to be big here. Charts are continuing to try to punch through. But the moment we lose this, we start slipping through these edges. So you can almost stair-step your way down. But on this side of the volume profile, it remains bullish. Very hard to say what the chart will do besides a little bit of nothing. Support to resistance. Again, that's all we're watching here in the space. Range-bound trades are best when you wait for the edges and then participate. Taking a look at crude, take a look. This was last Wednesday? Yeah, something like that. And then gives it all back. And now coming into the EIA, we do have a lower high. Russia is saying stuff about oil markets tightening. Certainly that's going to benefit them. We've got oil sanctions coming for Iran November 4th, something like that, somewhere around that region. And we've got the EIA today. What are we doing? This is a new profile that's being built here. Lots of price acceptance above this region, but right there at failure. Okay, so what we're looking at is the prior 2 weeks of motion saying this is all we've got. And remember, I'm not actually sure I've mentioned this, so I won't say remember. When we take a look at this, we see from the hedge funds that they aren't building short positions. They're just taking off long ones and keeping themselves fairly steady in that range. And so this 70 region is going to be a big deal. If we break this area, we could get to 72 very easily. Very, very easily. Because there's nothing really stopping it from moving forward in the space. A lot of sellers up there at 71, so we would have to watch that pretty carefully. But as it goes, we are holding our front line support. Yesterday I said, hey, listen, first line resistance somewhere around 68.90 to 65.30. We stopped there for a bit, chopped around, and then continued our acceleration to the upside. What do you need to think about when you see something like that? If resistance stops for a moment but cannot fade back downward, we know that there are more buyers in place pushing price action, and so we have to look to the next line of resistance. That's a very simple trading mechanic there in that space. If you take a short and you are in a bullish formation and you take a short right at the top of that area and it only loses 10 or 12 cents and then starts moving again, you should be done. In and out. Lastly, we take a look at gold. Gold sitting in a space of very heavy congestion. It bounced sharply yesterday right into our resistance zones at around, what, 1202, 1204, something like that. It's 1204. And now sitting in the heat of congestion. I took this image several hours ago, and it's still sitting in this space. What's it likely to do? Well, it's likely to give us a shot to the upside, right? We'll see how that goes. But that upside is still resistance. And here's the big kicker. We're still making lower highs. And so as long as a chart is making lower highs, we do not have breakout action. What we are looking for is a stabilizing event at support, and that could be what we are seeing today. All right, that's it for the futures in 5. Probably run a little long. Take care.